Hello, everybody, and welcome to Orange First on the DenverChannel.com and the Denver 7 app. A look back, your first look back at the game that was, first look ahead at the game coming up. And that game is Thursday night against the San Diego Chargers. As always, with me is the outlier, Woody Page. That's what he told me to call him, so I'm going to do it. The outlier, and we have the Broncos insider, Troy Rank, who was at Broncos camp tonight for the show. Guys, we're going to start with the Xfinity X1 injury report because we have a lot of important injuries to talk about. Virgil Green, Donald Stevenson, Trevor Siemian, and, well, the head coach, Gary Kubiak. Let's start with you, Troy. Gary Kubiak is not going to coach the team Thursday night in San Diego. He is going to take the week off to recover from a migraine headache that he got after the loss to the Falcons.
Yeah, Lionel, a complex migraine was the diagnosis. Scary stuff after Sunday night's game. Second time in 3 years he's been transported by ambulance from an NFL game. But they're saying, yes, that it's a migraine headache. He will step away for a week to get better, rest and recover. Joe DeCamillis will serve as the interim head coach this week. But, yes, they expect Virgil Green back. They expect Stevenson back at right tackle. And the hope, in talking to multiple sources, is that quarterback Trevor Siemian will also be back, but no guarantees on this short week, but they should be much healthier at San Diego.
Well, let's talk about Gary Kubiak for just a couple of minutes. He did that, the incident, the mini stroke, while he was coaching the Texans in 2013, and I think that's why this set off a red flag. Oh, call the ambulance. We can't have this happen again. That's why. But Woody, if he's going to take a week off for what they're calling a complex migraine incident or whatever, is there anything deeper to this, do you think? Is it worse than they're saying?
Yeah, Lionel, I talked to a neurologist out of Los Angeles today about this and said, you know, is this linked to the mini stroke? And he said the issue that probably concerned the Broncos, obviously he did not treat Kubiak, is that the symptoms can overlap. This fatigue, weakness, issues that you would see with a stroke. And that's why we believe, again, there's some speculation here on my part, the reason they reacted with such urgency and had Kubiak go by ambulance to a local hospital. Kubiak issues a statement late Monday night thanking everyone for the support, that he's going to continue to listen to his doctors, maintain a strict diet, which he's tried to do, again, since 2013. And there's, at this point, no reason to believe, Lionel, that he won't be able to coach the Broncos in the future, but it's going to be an issue when he comes back because now, again, second time in 3 years, he's left an NFL stadium by ambulance.
And this is not the first incident for the Denver Broncos. I was in Japan with Dan Reeves when, after eating at a fast food restaurant, he had some issues while they were playing a preseason game there. Then later on, when he went to Atlanta, he had quadruple bypass surgery. John Fox, as we all know, actually was lightheaded and had problems the day before Gary Kubiak collapsed on the sidelines. So there have been issues in the past with the Denver Broncos. It would seem to me, Troy, and you obviously have talked to specialists on the matter, and Broncos out there, that fatigue is a factor, stress is a factor in migraine headaches. Lionel's had them. My daughter's had serious migraine problems, and a lot of overwork, stress, issues of fatigue. And we know that last night his intention was to go back and stay at Dove Valley all night and make preparations for the game on Thursday night. So I think that, A, this is great news that it's not specifically what he had before, even though it might be related, and B, that it's not long-term issues that can't be dealt with. Migraines, as we know with Terrell Davis in Denver, and in the Super Bowl specifically, had problems with migraines. So it could have been a lot worse, but it could have been a lot better also.
Well, they can be debilitating, I can tell you that. And you pointed it out Sunday, is that it must have been coming on during the game because Greg Knapp started to call the plays. Kubiak must have been feeling something and obviously went to the hospital later that night. Now, Joe DeCamillis is the head coach. A lot of people saying, you got Wade Phillips on staff, Rick Dennison. You know, Studesville has some interim head coaching experience. But John Elway and Gary Kubiak apparently talked, and they felt this was the best solution for the team going forward, Troy.
Yeah, they basically explained it this way, Lionel, that it's the most seamless disruption. Excuse me. We're outside here. I'm here with Jeff Howe. It's starting to get cold. It could rain. I'm here. Seamless disruption is the way it was categorized, Lionel, because of the way that D. Camillus was involved in game day decisions. He's not responsible for a full unit. Special teams a little different. They felt this in a short week. This was the best strategy. D. Camillus is a heck of a story, and I know Woody knows it. I mean, local kid, star high school wrestler, went to Wyoming. And then he nearly was paralyzed in an accident and coaching in Dallas when a windstorm came up and blew a barrier down into him. I mean, he is a survivor in every way, a fighter. So, I mean, if you know Joe D. Camillus is an infectious personality. He's a guy that's very high energy. But, you know, it was a surprise a little bit because he's the special teams coach. They just felt like this was the easiest way to get through a short week. Rick Dennison, Rico, will call the plays, guys. That is the plan right now.
Yeah,
well, I'm not so certain that this was the best idea, and I'm not. It's a difficult situation there. But Wade Phillips has taken over for Dan Reeves. He took over for John Fox. Del Rio took over for John Fox, but Wade Phillips has taken over for coaches in the past. He's been a head coach. There are a number of former head coaches on that team, and I understand that you think the least amount of disruption will be with the special teams coach, but I think with Dennison, who has been a candidate for head coaching jobs, Greg Knapp has been an offensive coordinator. It seems to me that Dennison could have taken over and Greg Knapp could be the offensive play caller. He knows the playbook as well as Kubiak does.
Well, I think this is so short term, or they're planning on it being short term, that Gary will be back on Monday, that there's only 3 days to do it. You don't want to mess up Dennison's preparation of the offense or Wade Phillips' preparation of the defense in 3 days. That if they get Trevor Siemian back, if they get Virgil back, Stevenson comes back, then the players are more important than the head coach in 3 days of preparation.
Well, I have a question for you, Troy. You've been around the team more than anybody. What sort of disruption will this cause with the players? We went through it with the John Fox situation. I don't think it really had a great effect on the players. They played extremely well under Jack Del Rio at that time. How much of an influence do you think this will have on the players between now and Thursday?
Well, it's interesting, Woody, because of the fact they have a diagnosis. I think, and it's, you know, again, it's migraines. I'm not in any way diminishing that, but they know what it is. They believe they have a handle on it. The players see this as a chance for one game to kind of go win one for Kubiak and, you know, handle their business, is the way Chris Harris put it. TJ Ward told me the same thing, that, you know, they prepare a certain way regardless of who's in charge. This is a locker room that polices itself, holds itself accountable, and they have much respect for Kubiak. So it would surprise me if in any way this became a distraction. Instead, it's not so much a motivational thing, it's just a way to show their coach, you put a boilerplate template out here for how we do business, and we're going to show you that and prove you to that in a short week. So I would expect that not only they play well, but they win for Coach Kubiak, and not in a rallying sense, guys, but just to show him you created an environment and a culture here that's very conducive for us playing well. And it isn't a concerning thing right now, because as we sit here on Monday night, they have a feel for what's going on and that Coach Kubiak will be back next week.
I remember vividly Joel Dreesen, though, telling me that what he had most respect for when he played for Kubiak in Houston, that his pregame talks the night before had more motivation than anybody else he ever played for. So that's why I'm saying, you know, I wonder if they'll miss him at that point, because they're working with their position coaches, their coordinators during the week, and Kubiak is sort of on the fringes. I don't mean that to sound in a negative way. Head coach are handling everything, but managing the entire team. So I don't know that effect it will have. I wonder, since we're talking about coaches, what sort of effect this week will have on Mike McCoy, because I believe that he could be gone if he loses on Thursday night.
Yeah, McCoy is he's under pressure to win this game. I think, to your point about the emotional part of it, is that they might miss Gary Kubiak's speech the night before the game. But as Troy said it may not be a rallying cry, but I think it will be the fact that, oh, Coach Kubiak's not here, let's go get this for him. He will be back on Monday. And I just see a very emotional, very energetic, enthusiastic Broncos team coming out Thursday night in San Diego. Guys, it's time for the Pump the Brake segment, brought to you by Brakes Plus, which means we're going to look back at the Falcons game real quick and talk about what needs to be fixed here, what needs to change from the Falcons game to the Chargers game. I got to believe you got to have Virgil Green back, Troy. That's going to be huge in there, not only for the running game because he's a great blocker, but you know how many balls a tight end caught from Paxton Lynch on Sunday against the Falcons? 0! None! This is a tight end offense that Gary Kubiak runs. When the tight end doesn't catch a ball in this offense, you got trouble. There's no doubt about that.
Well, they've got to be more physical at the point of attack. They just got dominated on the offensive and defensive lines. I mean, it starts there. You know, they need to be better in the trenches.
Troy, are you going to go on the Xfinity X1 injury report? Troy Rank is doubtful for the game on Thursday. What?
I think I might have to take over, Troy.
Yeah.
I'll take over. We'll get a health update on you earlier. Just let me
From the outlier to the insider, I guess.
Yeah, let me just mention that I think that that right side, not only talking about tight ends, and I'm very disappointed in the tight end position. Virgil Green is hurt. I mean, I'm not disappointed in him. He has a legitimate injury because I know he wants to be on the field because he's been a second teamer, a third teamer for this Broncos outfit for years.
Yeah.
And he wanted a chance to show this year he could catch passes for touchdowns. But Hireman has not really come forward. John Philip Sousa has not really played in the band that much so far. I think that's a problem. The right tackle position without Stevenson's a problem. The right guard position, I don't care whether people are applauding Schofield. I didn't think he helped. He didn't help Tyson Rowe at all. And I think that right side, when you have a tight end lined up on that side, that is a major weakness, whether it's Paxton Lynch or Trevor Siemian. Got to get Siemian back in this lineup, and you've got to take a look at what Kyle Shanahan did against you with the running backs circling out of the backfield against the linebackers. We know that Von Miller's not a great coverage guy. Right. We found out that the other linebackers are not good coverage guys either.
We did. They were kind of exposed with Kyle Shanahan's game plan for Matt Ryan to throw to his running backs. That just destroyed the Broncos all day long. All right, let's get some keys to the game here as we look ahead to San Diego. Troy, coming off their first loss, and now without their head coach for this game, 3 days rest, divisional opponent. What are the keys to going into San Diego and beating the Chargers?
Well, stop the run with Melvin Gordon. Teams have seen a template now. They're going to be more patient and commit to the run. You have to stop the passes out of the backfield to the running back. Now, again, the Chargers don't have the same weapons, Lionel, as the Falcons. I mean, Coleman and Freeman just put a show on. But Phillip Rivers, not unlike Drew Brees or even a guy like Ryan, they're going to put up numbers. But stop the run game, get turnovers, and create a game plan that allows, whether it's Siemian or Paxton Lynch, to not have to throw so many times. I mean, the lack of balance in the offense has hurt. So balance, stop the run, and go back to being who they were defensively, get a big turnover.
I think that it's an awareness of Phillip Rivers that you've got a guy who's another gunslinger. He likes to throw the ball down the field. I think this is an opportunity for the cornerbacks to get back involved and come up with an interception or two. I think it's important that the linebackers, even if it were, I thought about this, the Falcons took a strong safety and put him in a linebacker. I don't know that that's not maybe a good idea. You got Roby in the game. Roby's not playing well this year, guys. He is not having a stellar year.
You're right.
And so that is a key that you've got to get more play out of your backup cornerbacks, your backup safeties. I think you've got to get some kind of running game. That was not a running game at all on Sunday. Do you attribute that to the offensive line or do you attribute that to C.J. Anderson? I think it's a little bit of both. So you got to have some kind of running game, or that passing game just does not hold up against anybody. And I think the third thing is, with the distraction and the disruption this week, how do the Broncos respond, given it's such a short week? Do they push this all aside on Thursday night, a short turnaround, and even if you have your coach, it's a short turnaround?
Well, I think you got to run the football. And you got to get Trevor Siemian back there to kind of calm the ship, to kind of right the ship. Paxton Lynch was all over the place, and not all his fault, as we talked about throughout the week. Get Trevor Siemian back in there. Get a running game established, and I think they'll be all right going into San Diego on Thursday night. All right, quickly predictions, and then we're going to get to Woody's rant to close the show out. Troy, what do you think? We're 4-1 now after the loss to the Falcons.
Yeah, I was way off. I don't know why I ever listened to Woody Page. Is he there? It's 31-20. It's 30-20. I fed off that, and of course I was wrong. I should have known better. I do believe the Broncos win in a high-scoring game because I think Simeon's going to be back. I'm going with 28-24 Broncos.
All right. Dro?
I think it's a trap. I think it's a trap game because we're sitting here talking about the motivation of the team to win one for Gary Kubiak.
McCoy on that
How
side,
much
right?
do the San Diego Chargers love their coach? Do they want him out of there? I just think, I've seen the Broncos, and I was there. You probably were there. They went in on a Thursday night and played San Diego Chargers here, and they lost to them. I think we're going to see a very, very good Phillip Rivers. He loves Mike McCoy. Mike McCoy has been a boon for Phillip Rivers. I think they're going to run the football. I think they're going to take advantage of what Kyle Shanahan was doing. And guys, they got Bosa in the lineup, who came up with 2 sacks in his first appearance last week. He's making a difference defensively, even though they lost the game. They've been close in every game. They're playing at home. I don't think there's going to be as much dominance of the Denver Broncos fans on a Thursday night. Give me the Chargers winning 30-20.
Chargers winning 30-20. All right, I hate to pick the Broncos in every game, but I have so far, and I think they're going to win this one as well. I'm going to go with 28-21. Very close to Troy's prediction there, but I just think they go in charged up. Win one for Kubiak. Simeon's back. Virgil Green's back. They get a running game going, and they're 5-1.
And you two guys are closer than Ching and Ing.
All right,
twins.
Let's wrap it up, Woody. The rant of the week. What do you got for us?
I am so upset with the NFL. People talk about the no fun league. We've heard that for years and years. But I am so disappointed, upset, irate at what the NFL has done to go overboard about this being a no fun league. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, now that's another, to use that word again, a disruption, where we're getting an explanation every week as if we're stupid out here. Oh, if he gets another one, he could be a candidate to be tossed from the game. That we've got a situation where Odell Beckham is being teased every week, and he ends up getting the unsportsmanlike conduct. I just think that's taking over. Antonio Brown tried to salute Arnold Palmer, and he had to take the cleats off. So what does he come back? He's got Muhammad Ali cleats on. Really, NFL? We know who those uniform inspectors are. They're former players, guys that I like for the Denver Broncos, and they're the guys going down saying, oh, you got to put your shirt tail in. I just think the NFL has gone overboard with all of this unsportsmanlike conduct, with making guys change their shoes, with what's going on in the end zone. We don't even know what's allowed anymore in the end zone. Can you touch somebody? Can you twerk in the end zone? NFL, at some point, the ratings are down. Is there a reason maybe the ratings are down? I think it's a couple of things. One is that people are not watching with the debates being as interesting as they are. And I think the other thing is the NFL just continues to take every bit of fun out of it. And I believe that until you change that, the NFL is going to go down in popularity.
Well, you are more than welcome, Woody, to twerk on this show. So, and we won't throw a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on you as well. Troy, you're more than welcome to celebrate any way you want as well. This is the fun show, not the no fun league. Oh, it's Color Rush coming up too. The uniforms are going to be beautiful on Thursday night. All right, Troy, thanks a lot. Woody, thank you as well. That's it for Orange First here on the DenverChannel.com and the Denver 7 app. We'll see what predictions come true for Thursday night. Until then, have a great week.